So good evening everyone. So in behalf of our instructor of this subject, Mr. Reggie Abonito, registered CRIM of Criminal Justice Education Department. So I am Archie L Lapatis. I am honored to be a leader of this group, Hotel 6th. So presenting to you the chapter 13 topic, changes in muscle, the continuation from the Hotel 5th, from their reporting, and these are the member of the Hotel 6th, Mr. Archie, which is me, Lapatis Archie, and Ladroma Lorien, Lauron, Wendell, Kerk, Lequit, Junilie P, and Marabueno Roberto. So let's start the discussion. First, the physical injury. The regional injuries. So first, we have the head injuries or the head injury. So the head is the heaviest part of the body relative to its size, supported by the muscles of the neck. So supported by the muscles of the neck. And the brain is enclosed within the strong bony cranium. So this kind of injury will give you an scenario. For example, nan ako pagka-disgrasya. So I was a hit, nabagbag ang akong ulo sa semento, sa kalsada. So the side effect or the injury that I've felt or that I've been suffered at that time is the blood clot inside of my head, which is through my brain. So the side effect is just like until now I feel something na kanang mag-study ko, mag-focus ko tutok sa laptop, tapos mapulaw ko o kanang mapulaw is kumbaga kulang sa tulog. Ano siya, kumbaga musakit siya, musugmat, kumbaga musakit jud siya sa akong ulo dili. But I am not showing it in kumbaga in a sad way. Bisag sakit na akong ulo, sige lang, tawa lang ta, basta lang anana. So this is the injury that I've gone. So this is the example of the scenario that which I've encountered in head injury. So the next is the scalp injury. So the scalp consists of hairy skin once subcutaneous tissues. Scalp is a very vascular organ and blends profusely on damaged scalp after lacerated by impact. So, di ko nabasahon tanan. So, mag-give ako ng scenario or example. So, sa ako, continuation na ako pagka-disgrasya is na ako isamad diri. So, scalp injuries. So, scalp, nasamad ko. So, according to Doc Velasco, pasalamat daw ako kay na ako'y samad nga diri. Pagkabagbag sa akong ulo na ako'y samad diri nga nidugo. Kay ngano, ang kalisod daw kay kung wala daw ni dugo, there's a possibility nga naa daw ko'y kumbaga affected organs nga naa sa ilalom sa akong ulo. So ana siya mag-cause gihapon ni siya og kanang kumbaga scalp fracture. Ibali ang ako diri pag CT scan okay ra, wala siya sa atong bungo, wala koy kuan. So ang possible daw kung may naakoy scalp injury, may possibility na kumbaga lutang ko permi kay murag na ako'y mga sakit diri nga pangbation ana daghang ko'y bation jud, pero sa karon minimal pa man ako ni kuan, dili lang simbako lang pala. Minimal pa man ako nabati nga injury, mga maglabad lang kung ma-over kuan ko kung di makatulog. Ana lang pa ang ako na kuan na encounter so far in God's will. So That's the type of injury na makuha ninyo sa scalp. So, in spinal injury or the whiplash injury, I will not read the description, so I will give directly the scenario. So, in the scenario, for example, sa atong paglaba, tapos kanang na-slide ta. So, pagka-slide nato, sa injury nato na nakuan, or gitulak ta, pag indog nato, gitulak ta, may possibility na mauna ang ato, if ever mauna ang ato ang diri likod, so there's a lang pa dislocation of our spinal cord. So what will you do if the victim will makaingana or mahitabo sa ingana mga sitwasyon? So first, kung if ever kung kinsay naa didto walay kahibal-anan ng first aid, so ang hitabo niya is pahigdaon ang patient or katong biktima, then call those people nga duol nga kabalo mag first aid. Kung wala jud, call directly the doctor or the kanang hospital para maka-provide sila nurse or something na maka-rescue. So it can cause also in sa atong spinal injury, for example, kanang pagyuko nato, then pag indog dili ta direct makaindog dayon because it's because rather dia dislocate na, there's a consequences na nahitabo sa ato ang spinal cord. So that's the kind of injury that you will receive or we will have if ever na maka-counter ka ini na types of injury. Simba ko lamang palayo kay dili sa yun. So to continue, chest injuries. So the chest can suffer many types in injuries including blunt impact, compression, and penetration. When the thoracic cage is squeezed for a considered time with a sufficient force to impair respiratory movements, and this called traumatic asphyxia. So napod ko scenario ani. So chest injury, for example, para makasabot ta, for example, ang trabahante sa construction worker, example, nagtulak siya og kanang hakutanan sa graba. So sa iyang paghakot, accidentally na wala siya nakakita nga naay ham. Tapos naay kabilya na nagtutok directly on his left chest. So wala siya kakuan, pag ana niya nakapugong atong kuan, tapos natusok ang iyang chest, natusok so diri nga part. So what will you do kung sa himuon? Utdon ba nimo or tanggalon nimo, birahon siya alon matanggal ang katong kuan, katong kabilya nga nakatapak? So the answer is no. Ayaw pagbirha. What will be the thing that you will do is lang siya, hanap kag sharp material or equipment na pwede nimo magabas ato, igabas nimo, or para dili siya the reason why nganong dili siya ko anong birahon. So ang kuan man god is ang atong pag-breathe daw ingon sa science is ang atong kung close na wala tay samad ana, direct lang dire kanang diri sa taas ra ana. So mauray gawasanan sa hangin turunan ato lungs. So kung adi siya ang damage tapos gitanggal nimo, ang gawasanan dili na direct diri, maglisod na siya pag breath, direct nan pagkuan pump nan iya lungs, di na siya makagawas nan hangin diri, kundi diri na gawas na, di na proper niya circulation o pag-pump nan iya baga. So sa iyang baga ang kuan ana is mugamay siya, so maglisod na ang tao pag ginhawa. So that's the reason na dapat instead of kuan kanang birahon nimo, igabaso na lang nimo, tapos dalon dayon siya sa pinakaduol nga hospital para maagapan. So That's the chest injuries that pwede nato makuha, and at the same time the move or ato himuon kung unsay atong dapat unsay atong dapat himuon sa tao nga katong naka-encounter or na disgrasya na anik na injury. So abdominal injury. So sa abdominal abdomen from the word abdomen sa tiyan. So ang ato tiyan is isa sa pinaka kuan isab delikado sab na injury. For example, um um what will ko diarrhea. So ang diarrhea is a type of injury sa abdominal. Why? Hain nato makuha ang say ano yung tawag ang injury na nga magka-cause ng abdominal injury because of the food na ato gikaon. Kung ato i-trace siya because of the food, or else yung ginatawag na hangin, sa hangin yung panuhot. So types of injury sa abdominal na pwede nato makuha, type on common makuha nato guys is yung sa pagkaon. Tapos something like ang side effect na is maglisod ta, or it can cause death kay ma-dehydrate ang tao. Ma-dehydrate, mawala ng tubig sa lawas, may say ang dehydration. So apektado sab ang ato lawas kay dili mukaon ta, way gana mukaon, tapos dili mo digest proper ang ato mga intestine kay tungod na ay injury sa ato tiyan. So that can cause also death kay di naman ta mukaon lisod sab unsa pa may atong kuanon. So that's the report na ako may share, or that's the knowledge that I can share for you nga gikan sa ako ang nasabtan ani na report. So next will report Mr. Lauron.
Good evening. I am the second reporter of this group, Hotel 6. Neck injuries, cutting and stabbing to the neck seen as a suicide and homicide. I'm giving an example about neck injuries. Neck injuries is an example of like a person died because he or she have more problems and take it depression. He or she get some rope and tie it in the heavy materials that nakinangla na dapat pinakaligong kay para dili madali maguba kung he or she taking suicide. Cutthroat is most commonly suicidal and the characteristic sure is repetitive tentative incisions. I've given a scenario of this. Cutthroat is a wound damage na makitaan kung ang pagbigti dahil gamay na kalit na mura sa magnapdaplis na mga gagmay na mura adara kinamra sa mga miya. Next is homicidal cut or deeper. There may be multiple homicidal slashes. The word wound suggests that the lesion was by deliberate action or injury could arise from any cause including accident. Homicidal cut deeper, it is a type of injury na duyot ng bigti na doon grabe na paglubong sa neck. Next po. Sir, next. Sir, clean wound. It's a break lesion in the continuous of living body. Wound. It is a na dugay baya masamat ka na sa kabutang na mga height materials and it is a injury if na ma gini kung madisgrasya ka o different type of accidents, vital reactions, some or total of all reaction of tissue organs, physical injury or trauma. Reactions is vital beating over self. Mataboy ni if masyadaw pilila ani ikaw gumikan maratol nervous. Next is damage to tissues of the caused by mechanical force. It include beating, punching, kicking, biting, knifing, strangling, and include electricity, poisons, causes. Ang full damage, di na kung physical injuries, ang damage na nakita sa mga injuries, makita sa kaman masakit na gumikan sa kaman na mali na gumikan sa cold pasukaw ng mga tamboto or tutun po nan sigang ko ng oil like poisons dahil tao na dinimitan butangan ng pagkanan or like poison ng physical we are injured but we have also mental injury. It's all part of my report. That's all you. Next up, see.
So, good evening everyone. I'm the third reporter of this group, Hotel 6. So, I will be reporting examination of wounds. First, abrasions. Abrasions are the most superficial types of injury called scratch or gaze. It is most common cause in falling to the ground with a sliding motion. So, abrasions, these are what we call gas-gas. Mga gas-gas, mga panggos. Like, if this, when we are in accident, motorcycle accidents, we get abrasions like mga gas-gas or panggos. So, the second one is bruise or contusions caused by blunt objects which is cause damage to blood vessels and blood leaks to surround the tissues. Fresh bruises are dark purple spectrum color damage or bruise contusions. The colors are blue, brown, yellow, and red. falling to. In Tagalog, we call it mga pasa. Bruises, we get this if we like we involve in this assault or like the nakikisinumbagay ka. You involve in the riot, you get bruises. If someone punch you or someone kicks you, you get bruises. Then, laceration is the splitting, tearing wound caused by blunt instruments. Lacerations. Lacerations, you get lacerations. Oh, if you like, if you step on glass or sharp objects, that would cause deep cut. Deep cut is what deep cut. That deep cut is called lacerations. So next slide. Incist wounds are sharply cut injuries from razors, knives, broken glass, and metal edge. So incist wounds, these are just minor wounds. Like you get this one when you're cut some vegetable skin, cutting vegetable whatsoever, you get this incist wounds. It's just a minor injury, actually. So next is slash wounds. The length is greater than the depth. Slash wounds. The length of the wound is great or large. However, ang kalayo mo niya is mabaw lang. Dili siya ang amoy kuan. Amoy layom. Pero ang isa kataskon sa kuan sa mud is grabe kadako. This slash wound is when you being slashed by someone. You can get this one if you're involved in the riot or mga gang, something like that. Then the last one is stab wound, causing sharp pointed and sharp instrument. Stab wound. You get this stab wound if someone stab you, like this scenario. You being hold up, then he or she forced you to give your material, your insist to not. So then she stabbed you. Stab wound are more fatal and dangerous if you being stabbed by in the abdomen or in the chest. Why? Because in the abdomen there is a vital organs that might be hit if you being stabbed, like your intestines. So that's why it's more fatal and more dangerous, especially in the chest if the heart is being hit by that instrument. That's all. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am going to be the next reporter, and I'm going to report the features of stab wounds. Stab is usually slit-like, but after removal of the knife, the center widens and the length becomes shorter. Stab is slit-like, but after removal of the knife. Kibale, ang stab usually kuan gud ini siya stab wounds, kibali samad gud ini siya tagluba pa, pero after removal of the knife, pag human sa pagkuha sa kutsilyo sa lawas, magdako ang center ini ang ilayom, magdako ang ilayom tas ang length or katas-on niya mo gamay. Amazon siya. If the knife is twisted in the wounds, a V-shape wound result. Kung ang kutsilyo ato gitwist or tagbali, mahimo siya ng V-shape kay tungod na utro an posisyon ng kutsilyo. Stab wounds from a close pair of scissors, usually a weapon used by women, leaves a wound like a swallow Z or the conventional sign of for a flash of lightning. Stab wounds of pair scissors, kibali kani dili kung kutsilyo ang gigamit or knife, ang gigamit is scissors, gunting, kani ginagamit ni sa mga kababaihan para protektahan ng kaugalingon kay usually ang mga kababaihan is wala kaayo strength. So mao ni kibali ang ginagamit pang protekta. Mag-live kini si Janan kuan sa isa suspect nan mag-live si Jackie Bali nan palatandaan sa isa ka suspect na tag kuan si Janan victim. Kibali V as like a swallow Z or the conventional sign for a flash of lightning, amura kibali si Janan tag kuan na si Janan kidlat or magkahimos Janan wounds pero dili kong straight, imo ranan zigzag or ono ba ang sa kuan pag mag-examine na. Punching consists of blows with a clean fist and directed at the parts of the body of the victim. Bruises and abrasion are the most common injuries. Kani siya kibali pwersa na pag sumbag direkta sa ato punching, sumbag ini siya na may pwersa direkta sa atong lawas. Magbilin ini siya nan pasa or abrasion, kibali amon ni siya ang mga karaniwang pinsala pag naay punching or layot na mahitabo na magkasinumbagay. Amon ni siya ang makita sa isa ka riot. Laceration occurs in the body prominence blows in the mouth, ang lip, masumbagan ng atong wayong, ma-fractured maguba atong ilong, magdugo, mabali, o maguba sa bang atong jaw, ang ato diri sa ato panga. Amo na siya kung magjaoy magkasinumbagay, manggulod mahilikagan jaon. Around the eyes, blows causes periorbital hematoma or black eye. Napaka-common na ini around the eyes, black eyes, cause periorbital hematomia, amon ni siya ang ginatawag na black eye, kay tungod magpundo ang dugo dinhi sa ato round eye na maka-cause ng black eye. Bite marks are brooded bruises or lacerate eye. Ito ay bugbog ni si Bite marks are abraded bruises or lacerate eye. Amon ni siya himonan bruise, gasgas gihapon pero may samad. Ang lacerate eye is a skin wound. Lacerate eye o lagi-lagi skin wound siya na kibali missing sa part sa skin nato amo ni siya ang di napasabot ani kay syempre pag paakon ta may magazud mawaya na skin sa ato part sa ato lawas. Injuries from the teeth are most often seen in sexual assault. Injuries from a teeth amo ni bite marks makita magazud ini pag may mahitabo ng mga sexual harassment or tag-rape ka. A bite mark a pair of corp of opposing bruises seen in the skin. Next, palihog. In sexual assault, the most often inflicts on the side of the neck, shoulder, and breast. In sexual assault kono kasagaran gazod In sexual assault, kasagaran gazud ini makita sa diri sa ato og sa shoulder sa breast. Breast kanang kuan sa suso nila. Kicking. Common injury in assault and homicide consists usually of mixture of abrasion, contusion, and laceration. Means daon na inita na daon na bruises, bruises, gasgas, bunog, tapos wound, down night did on. The shod foot is almost always involved. Puwersa gihapon, may puwersa iton gihapon. The victim is usually lying on the ground and accompanied by stamping and heel grinding. The injuries are severe than punching. So, kasagaran, ang biktima ani nakahigda tapos dinhana si Zagi sipa-sipa sa suspect. So, amo ni siya ang mas mas severe na injuries kaysa sa punching. The common target for kicking are the face, neck, sides of the chest, abdomen, and perineum. So, amo kuno ni ang mga target sa pagsipa sa suspect, amo kibali ni ang mga target sa wayong, sa liog,
Sa chest, abdomen, and
sa sides all.
Special types of wound. Pattern wound would look by the shapes of the instrument or objects reflected on the body. Inikibali siya kay kuan. Ang iday ni example yon kibali kung bunon kaw. Kung buno ni sa pagbuno pataas ba or tagdasok. Amo dito example na doon example kibali tagbuno ka na sa kilid ang pagbuno niya pataas amo doon example sa pattern wound. Defense wound produced by sa defense wound ibali daw nag defense ka pero na kuang gihapon na nasamad ka gihapon pag self defense nimo. Legal classification of wounds. Mutilation, the intentional act of cutting or lopping any parts living body. Ini siya pang kibali. Pareha rin siya sa kibali na doon maglaslas ka good na imuti tagtuduan nimo na magsamad-samad ka sa imo kagalingon sa kuan mutilation. Any slight physical injury is the physical injury wherein the victim is incapacitated for work or require medical attendance for a period of 1 1 to 9 days. Inisida kay mura slight ragap to yung kan slight na injury pero kailangan gahapon nimo ng medication. Pero ang kuanda lamang gayud nimo ang pag ang medication nimo kay abot na lamang ko sa 9 days. Number 3, less serious physical injury. A physical injury wherein the offended party is incapacitated for work or require medical attendance for 10 days or more but not more than 30 days. Ini pareha ragap sila ini sa kuan sa slight physical injury pero ini less serious physical injury. Kuan na siya doon. Kailangan mo ng taas-taas na medical attendance para
mag-heal,
kailangan din siya ng kuanta mga
recover.
more than 10 days pero ang maximum basta
Dali na ma-heal, kibali mag-recover kaya 10 days to 30 days pa ka maka-recover unless serious physical injury. Sa slight physical injury siguro ano lang, so the victim incapacitated to work, require medical attendance, so 1 to 9, so something like, so this kind of injury siguro like for example mabangga ra ka or something like may something like injury nimo na
Injuries like
less lang siya na major, dili siya lang na slight lang talaga pero dili siya ilang na serious. So sa less serious siguro amo siguro ini siya ang mga kuan na something like samad nan or mga operation siguro ini. For example maoperahan ka o ma-injury nimo na kuan tapos mag-heal na siya to 10 days to 30 days yun. Pero naamang good tao nga siguro nga like for example sa ako bisag gamay ra nga samad this dili siya dali mag-heal ang ako samad, so amo siguro siya ini sa less serious sa serious physical injury. So that's my idea.
sa serious physical injury, an injury wherein the victim becomes ill and incapacitated for work more than 90 days and injury caused permanently lost for any parts of his body and lost the use thereof. Ini siya kibali doon, example na disgrasya ka wampan na utod di mo siki, mga alimay nga na mo. Kailangan mo na sila pag ng medication sa more than 90 days. Ang example kibali nila doon pag the example yon mura doon kahapit na gyapon kibali
So sa serious physical injury, so when the victim becomes ill or incapacitated to work more than 90 days, so an injury cause deformity or loss o mautod. Pag mautod, something like pag mautod, for example,
lifelong na
itaod
sila. Pwede na sila
siya,
lifelong na injury.
dili siya basta-basta mo heal, kailangan pa siya ng taas pa na mga proseso, mas taas pa siya compare sa less serious physical injury and slight physical injury kay taodon pa man or magkonekta pa man, buhiom pa man adto ang gi-connect, for example na bukog gikuan pa siya palig-on pa, so amon siya sa serious physical injury. So that's the idea that I have.
next gunshot wound is an open wound but projectiles expansion force of burning gunpowder in the category shield. Hindi kibali doon
Excuse me.
bala na kung hindi sila doon pag naigang ko ng bala.
Mm-mm.
Example ini sa kuan sa gunshot wound doon tagpusil good ka.
Mm-mm.
Yun ang samad nila. Pusil. Characteristic between gunshot of entrance and exit. Size of wound of entrance is smaller than the missile, while its pointed exit is bigger than the missile. The age of the wound, number 2, the age of the wound of entrance is inverted while the exit wound are inverted. Number 3, contusion color is present in the wound of entrance absent. Number 4, the shape of the wound, the entrance wound is oval. Number 5, gunpowder. Their contact fire, send point exit.
So the last one
Number
is
6,
paraffin test in the point of entrance, negative in the point of exit. So the characteristic between gunshot and entrance and exit. So these are the characteristics. It characterize the kumbaga kung diri makuan is kung unsa kadako ang samad or ang katong gi-entrance or pag-igo sa bala kung unsa kadako. So magamit ini siya sa paraffin test o paraffin test kung ano ang point ng entrance. So hopefully in this next if we're going to proceed in this is not a negative thoughts, but I am encouraging everyone to study well because hopefully this paraffin test will be our lang pa ma-experience nato ning paraffin test para this is our part of our studies. So in generalize the characteristic between gunshot and entrance and exit. So amo auto sidza. So ang iyagi test ra diri o gi-characterize is ang katong sizes ng mga bala kung unsa kadako ang mga bala, kung unsa kadako ang samad nga kumbaga nagdulot kumbaga the cause of the gun o kumbaga ng bala na nasamad sa ato ang lawas. So sa lawas na katong tao nagi ako di lamang ako mag-point kay basin ako ay matiro sa sunod pong simba ko lang palayo. So I think that's all. So I would like to thank you for everyone's participation, and we would like also to thank this everyone also to for having this reporting or group study in short to be reported and to be submitted through our online page and private page in CDI2. So Thank you so much everyone. Dili na ako ni siya babalik-balik gud na ako ni pagistorya. Salamat sa inyo mga participation. Hopefully um mag-study well. We will continue our study in able to pass the qualifying exam of the upcoming exam in our next semester, this coming third year. So hopefully I would like to encourage everyone na dili gid ta magunahon og negative. Mopasar ba ta?
Pasar.
Mopasar ta.
Pasar.
Mopasar jud ta.
Testing pasar.
So thank you so much. I'm going to cut the video kay para masubmit na nato sa atong page. Once again, this is Archie Lapatis, your group leader. Thank you and a good evening.